All right, what's up, my friends? Oh, that's a wonderful way to start a live video. So, this is part one of the foundational wellness series that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be focusing on food as medicine in this video. So, I'm going to be going over my food philosophies. I'm going to be doing two little cooking demos, and then I'm going to be going over a resource that I've created for you. It's my complete food guide. So I'm going to be going over kind of those things and we'll see how this goes. I've never tried to do a combo like meal prep cooking type class in one of these educational videos. So we'll see how it goes. So I really wanted to do a series on these foundational wellness techniques and habits because this is where we get to start when looking at our health. So these foundational wellness habits are eating right, number one, exercising, resting, managing stress, and reducing toxic load. And so, again, I'm going to be outlining these in more details, different lifestyle habits that will help support these areas of wellness, and also some tools to help support you as well. So, these are really so critical. I know that, wellness and holistic wellness can feel a little bit overwhelming at times. So, bringing it back down to these daily habits can make a big difference. And then at the end of this month, I'm going to kind of help tie everything back together and show you guys what a daily routine might look like while incorporating all of these different things. So without further ado, I'm going to jump into the food as medicine part. So shout out to Alice Nichol. She's a wonderful doTERRA leader that's in Australia. And so I got a lot of these recipes from her that I'm going to be showing you today, and also in my food guide. She actually has a free ebook that you can download if you want to, with lots of great recipes. Actually, the secret veggie sauce that I'm going to be showing you how to make, hey Kiki, is from her free ebook that she created. And then also she has a whole cooking school, which I as well. So that has amazing resources if you wanted to learn how to cook at home. Like, what a better time than now to be able to learn about and adopt these more lifestyle habits that are going to promote wellness and going to support you in every area of your life, from immune support and beyond. So my basically philosophy on food is, I know there's so many diets out there, right? I have been on probably most of them starting from middle school. Been really frustrated with, weight and different health issues that I've dealt with probably since I was like 7. And so I know what it's like to be put on many different diets. But I think what I've kind of summarized from all of this is eating whole food is the answer. There's no one particular diet, one size fits all, but this is what I keep coming back to, and what from all my experience and research has shown me: eating whole food, eating foods that rot, eating primarily plant-based, and then also the 80-20 rule. So 80% of the time, try to eat pretty clean. That's why I try to keep my fridge and pantry pretty clean ingredients. I try not to buy the sugar because I will eat it. And I'll probably do a fridge and pantry tour soon, but it was just too much in regards to this video. So let's see here. So 80% of the time trying to eat clean, and then 20% of the time eat the damn birthday cake, right? We don't have to live in this like constricted, really strict way of diet. I know that I have made myself even more sick by trying to adhere to a really strict diet. Now, there's a time and place to do that for sure, especially when you're working on specific health issues. Elimination diets can be really effective because you're eliminating all of the possible food triggers and then slowly adding them back in to get more clarity. That's a whole nother topic. I'm talking about just general food guidelines. And then basically eat more of colorful fruits and veggies. You want to eat the rainbow. I mean, just to give you a sneak peek of this veggie sauce, this is, it's probably going to fog it all up, but see how colorful that is? That's a really good hint that something is really healthy for you in regards to the veggies. Eating more probiotic and fermented foods is great for your gut health. Our gut health is paramount to our overall wellness, from mood, immune system, sleep, all kinds of things. And then a quick tip for getting more veggies in: try like one meal a day where you're kind of it's like all veggies. So whether it's a big salad or whether it's big cup of green veggies in your smoothie, that those are really good ways to get more veggies in. And then a hint is stay on the outer aisles of the grocery store. So you're really focusing on, again, those whole foods that will rot eventually. So trying to remove the more processed foods. And then trying to eat less of, again, processed foods, sugar, trying to minimize or moderate coffee and caffeine. Time and place for sure, not saying you can never have coffee again. Gluten is a big trigger for a lot of people, and animal products. And so animal products is a very complicated issue because of three main things. One is animal welfare, how the animals are treated. Two is the environmental impacts of animal agriculture. And then three, basically how the animals are being fed, leading to some really wacky meat that you can't quite trust. So it's a complicated issue, but I would say, if you do want to eat meat and animal products, I encourage you to do or consider three things. One is get it from a local good source. Local farmers markets are great. I know that farmers markets aren't available in a lot of places, so do the best that you can. Number two, moderate to like 1 to 3 times a week. I think that's a really good moderation rule. And then also, let's see here. And then explore ways to get protein from other sources. So seeds, nuts, greens, beans, and rice are all great sources. And then number three, the third thing I encourage you to consider when using animal products is kind of using the nose to tail approach to really utilize the wonderful nutrients of like bones, organ meats, and connective tissues instead of the nutrient poor, like just the chicken breasts and steaks. So that's kind of my philosophy on eating right. I know there's a lot of information out there, but that's kind of what I've boiled it down to. And then a side note, I find sometimes that it's hard to eat like this all the time. I mean, we need at least 2 cups of veggies a day. But this can be hard to do on a consistent basis because of how busy we are. Maybe not during this whole coronavirus thing, but how busy we are, how stressed out we are, how nutrient poor our food is actually, from our farming practices, and also they're not the original form of the produce. They're modified, and so that reduces the nutrient content. So it's hard to get all the nutrients we need from food. That's why I like taking supplements. But one thing with supplements, you want to get them from a really trusted source. That's why I like getting doTERRA's Lifelong Vitality Pack. So really quickly, it comes in a 3-pack. This is like foundational nutrition here to really cover your bases, especially now when maybe you can't find a lot of food in the grocery stores. So the first bottle, whole food vitamins and minerals. It's really important that they're whole food so our bodies actually know what to do with them. Second bottle, essential fatty acids. Now you can get this from fish or a vegan version. So essential fatty acids are essential for many different functions in our body. And then the third bottle is the antioxidant, anti-inflammatory blend. So things like turmeric, CoQ10, like all the ingredients that you'll probably recognize are in that third bottle. So it comes in a 3-pack. They're supplements. They're rad. They really cover your foundational nutrition. So I wanted to put that in here because that has been an essential piece in my healing and my health journey. So without further ado, let's see how this little cooking demo goes. So I didn't really think about the placement of everything, but we're just going to go over here and see how it goes. So I am making the Alice Nichols secret veggie sauce. So pretty much, this is definitely done. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. Pretty much what I did is I chopped up a bunch of veggies. So I chopped up celery, carrots, onions, and garlic, and I sauteed those for like 5 to 8 minutes. Oh, before I move on to this recipe, all of the recipes that I'm going to talk about today are in my food guide. So actually, let me just explain what that is real quick, because it's super complete. I basically was struggling to keep all the recipes that I wanted to remember in one place. So I just created a big Google Doc and now I'm sharing it with you guys. I've made it super thorough. So it's whole food, plant-based, eco-friendly because it's focused on low waste foods and foods with a lower carbon footprint. Primarily gluten-free and really easy to follow and customizable recipes. So it has my philosophies on food that I just went over. It has a shopping list. It has further resources for education, tips on getting more veggies in, how to cook veggies, beans, quinoa, rice, and then my favorite recipes, everything from broths to breakfast, snacks, lunch and dinner and desserts. So it's really complete. It has smoothies in there, all kinds of things. And again, all the recipes are really customizable because I hate following recipes. I always end up switching something out. So this recipe here is in my food guide. So if you want to download that, it's actually, the link is in my bio under freebies. So it's actually on my website. So I have a bunch of my guides that I've created available for free download. So go check that out in my bio once this is done or whenever you want to. So back to this recipe here. So I sauteed the carrots, celery, onion, and garlic in some avocado oil and let that saute for like 8 minutes until the celery started getting a little transparent. And then I added cubed butternut squash. I think it's butternut squash. I get confused between the squashes. Any sort of pumpkin you can use. One zucchini, a bell pepper, and I think that's it. And so I just sauteed all of those until they're kind of mushy. And then I'm going to add a whole can or jar of just tomatoes. Now you could just use regular tomatoes, but I don't have access to that right now, and this was just easier for me. So this is, just make sure there's no salt or no sugar added. This is just tomatoes. So what you do is you're going to pour it in here. All right. And then what I am going to use to kind of get the residue out of here, I have made a bone broth. So I don't usually eat meat, but I've been dealing with some health issues for many years, so I'm really trying to adopt that nose to tail approach to eating animal products if I'm choosing to. So this is bone broth. A recipe is in my food guide, but I simmered this for like 48 hours with a bunch of veggies. So this has tons of health benefits, especially some really healthy minerals. So what I'm going to do to get that residue out is I'm just going to pour a little bit in here. You can do this with water if you want, or just veggie broth. My veggie broth recipe is in there as well. And you just kind of shake it and then pour it in. And then I'm going to add some nutritional yeast as well. Kind of gives it like a more full-bodied, kind of cheesy flavor. Again, I'm not really good with measuring things. And then you just stir this. I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit. So it's all combined. And then what we're going to do is blend this so that you can add it to all kinds of different recipes. Again, Alice Nichols' free ebook is incredible. So you can add this to any sort of, use this as the base for like a pasta sauce. You can add more seasonings to it. I'm going to keep this pretty plain for now. You can add this to any curries that you have. This just allows you to get a lot more veggies in, like secretly. I know my mom, this is really good for my mom because she's a little picky with food. Or if you have kids, this is a really good way to sneak some veggies in. So basically, yeah, you just stir this in and then we're going to blend it. So we'll see how this goes over here. So I'm going to transfer my camera over here. Now I really highly recommend investing at some point in a high quality blender. My favorite that I've had, my family and I have had for like 15 plus years, it still works great, is a Vitamix. Now that's in my dad's house. This is a Blend Tech. My sauce is bubbling. This is a Blendtec, which is another good brand, but you want to get a high-powered, really good quality blender. So I'm going to bring the sauce over here. Okay. This could be disastrous. One time I tried to do this and blend a bunch of roasted tomatoes and the blender exploded. So let's hope that doesn't happen today. Okay, so yeah, you just put it in the blender. Again, you don't want to fill it too full, otherwise it will explode. And you can thin it out with more broth if you want. You can thin it out with water or veggie broth. I just said that. And I like to do it in batches so I don't... All right, if you're wearing headphones, you might want to like turn the volume down. All right. Let's see. Cool. So again, you can use this for a variety of different things. For more ideas, download Alice Nichols' free ebook. You can access that. Her Instagram account is The Whole Daily. So THEWHOLEDAILY. The Whole Daily. She's great. So now the sauce. Now I can keep this in the fridge. I can freeze it. Many different uses. The one other thing that I wanted to demo for you guys that I actually just like experimented with last night and it kind of blew my mind is this like 2-minute, the lighting's horrible, 2-minute amazing like vegan chocolatey dessert. It's so good. So here's the ingredients here. All right, if you're watching live, just give me a thumbs up if like that's okay, if you can see anything. Emma, are you live? Okay, so first ingredient, tahini. If you guys haven't tried tahini yet, do it. It's so good. It's ground up sesame seeds. So seeds have a lot of nutritional benefit, really healthy fats, good protein. So, you know, you could measure this, but again, I don't like to measure. It is in measured amounts in my food guide, but you pretty much just put like a 1/4 cup or however much you want to make. It's probably more. Let me get a spoon. And then you're going to take some cacao powder. This is raw cacao powder, which has its health benefits of its own. I don't know, like a teaspoon or so. Adjust. If you want it more chocolatey, add more. If you want it less, add less. And then you're going to do some vanilla, like so. Then you're going to do some maple syrup. You could use honey if you wanted to. You could use coconut palm sugar. I just really like maple syrup. You could use date syrup as well. Like that. And then, so that's the essential ingredients. But then what I did last night to make it taste more like cookie dough is you add baking soda. I know it sounds a little weird, but it really helps add that cookie dough flavor to it. And so I'm gonna get a little teaspoon measure. So do about like, in this amount, probably like 1/8 of a teaspoon or so. Again, you're not gonna bake this, you're just gonna stir it. And then to give it again more of that cookie dough kind of sense, you can add whatever flour you want to, just like a tablespoon or so. I'm choosing green banana flour because I just got it and it's freaking delicious. So, but again, you can use any flour that you want to. Again, really specific measurements. All right, and then like a non-dairy milk to just kind of help thin it out. So I'm just using hemp unsweetened. You want to make sure you're getting unsweetened non-dairy milks. Even if it's original, it's probably sweetened. And honestly, non-dairy milks, they usually have a lot of gums and stuff in them, so they're not my favorite. But in moderation, I think they're fine. But you can also make your own non-dairy milks, which I'm going to be doing more of that soon. And the recipes are in my food guide as well. Just want to make sure it's still good. And then you just give like a little splash. And then you stir it. I know it looks really weird right now, but I swear it's really good. Look at that. And so it's kind of just like a spoonful of cookie dough. You can add some cacao nibs to it. Add some hemp seeds or like shredded coconut. It's delicious. All right, I'm gonna go enjoy this. I think we're done here. And my phone just paused me anyway. So, all right, cheers. Let me know if you have any questions. Go download my free food guide. It's in my link in my bio under freebies. So go check it out. Let me know what you think. And I'll see you next week for All About Exercise.